Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Cross Creek Classics. We are back here with another video of our 420 crawler build. And if you guys are wondering what I'm videoing here, this is the blade for the tractor. This crawler had the outside mounted Holt blade. This is the blade carrier here. This is where the cylinder goes. There's another bracket. Down here on both sides, a clamp to the tractor, undercarriage. And here's the actual blade right here for it. This is a manual angle blade too. Here you can see the Holt name right there, if you can see that. And I want to point out too, this Holt is a different Holt than the Holt and Best, that company that formed Caterpillar. I don't believe this has any affiliation at all with them. But these blades are kind of hard to find. I've only found one on the whole interweb, and it was on a 430 that went through Mecum auction. And a lot of the number 62 inside blades and a lot of other outside blades. But this angle blade by Holt seems to be kind of a scarce rarity, which is kind of cool. It's always nice to have something different, except when you're looking for parts for it. This is the last piece of this crawler. We're getting this whole project about done, and this is the last thing to do. But one thing I want to point out here too is these pieces here were added on at some time. That one here, and this one, and then this ear is missing. This is broke, which is probably why these were added on, I'm assuming. This is before my time. You know, this thing's been in the family since before I was born. My grandfather bought this crawler in the early 70s when he bought the farm, and as far as I remember, it's always been like this. But I want to take this, get a piece back on here, cut these out, and find the correct cylinders for it. This piece here is really nice shape. You know, it's not banged up real bad, not rusted out. There's one little crack I found over here that we're going to have to fix. And these holes here are your to set your angle for your blade. These things here, these slide back and forth on that rail, and there's a pin that drops through. So your middle two holes are straight. And then, you know, this back hole, that front hole would be angled to the left, and vice versa the other side. And then, like I said, the blade here, it's got some damage, lots of cracks. Do some welding on that thing, get that back up here. And then these side frames, we're going to have to get them straightened up. This thing's done a lot of work on the farm here over the years, and it's going to lead a life of leisure here once it's all done. So I have the other pieces down at my place. We're going to work on the carriers that mount to the tractor itself and get them done. And then we're going to work on that piece there. And then the blade will be the final piece of the puzzle, means it's the worst piece and the last piece to go on. So let's get going. All right, guys. So here's these frames I was telling you about. These go onto the tractor. This bolts on through here on the back, that big square carrier that the tracks bolt to, and then the front here, this clamps around the front one, and then the blade pivots on these here, and then the cylinder goes back and bolts to that that boss I showed you. So our next step is to get these sandblasted, get some body work done. We're going to fill all the pits in and get them painted and get them clamped on the tractor. So while we're doing that, I'm going to do some research and try to find the correct cylinders. These cylinders aren't right. They've always been on the tractor, but they're not correct. So I want to try and find the correct ones here. So we'll be back with some updates. All right, guys. So after we get these brackets all sandblasted, put some primer on, some high build, we put some epoxy primer on, and we put some putty on here to fill these in, and Blake is working diligently to sand these down to make them look hopefully a lot better than what they were. So we got these fancy paint stands here. We got these hanging up. So these are definitely the worst pieces of the blade to fill the pits in because of just how intricate everything is. And it's not easily accessible with the DA sander. And speaking of DA sander, I blew ours up today. So I will be in the market for another one. So Blake, he busts out the belt sander for getting in these tight spots, and I give him a ton of credit. That was a very good idea. So he's using his noggin. So outside here, show you what we're doing out here. So we got the main part of the blade carrier down, started working on it, and started cutting these pieces out here. I mentioned there was another boss on here for the cylinders. Don't mind my torching skills. I never was good with the torch, and I was running low on air. So this one here I finished with the cutoff wheel and the grinder and the sawzall, and I got this all finished up real nice. I was concerned about maybe at one time they had cut this out and notched this to put that other chunk in, but this piece wasn't welded. You can see here, this is the original surface right here and here. So that's the way it was from the factory, guys. So I need to make this one look like that. And we'll get this done. And I got one weld here. One spot we got a weld. It's got a little bit of a crack. And the rest of it's good. This piece is nice. It isn't bent up or anything. Then we're going to get it sandblasted. So that's an update for now. So I got, good 2 or 3 more coats of high build on here. This is the final time we're going to sand them out. And over here, we got the main frame for the blade. Got this all sandblasted. Had a crack here. Got this filled and ground down. And then one of the big things in this was rebuilding his ear right here for the hydraulic cylinder. Got this on. Got a piece of 1/2 inch steel plate for that. Got our hole drilled out. So this side looks as good as this side does. So we're gonna wheel that over and get that on the lift there so we can get this primered. All right, guys, so we got our dozer blade frame all cleaned up. I even took and did a little more work to just smooth some more of this out. Got it suspended with our lift and our engine hoist. So I got it all wiped down, and I'm gonna put a couple coats of epoxy primer on this and let this dry and start doing some body work. All right, guys, so we got the dozer frame here all in epoxy. Got a couple coats on. This is drying. And in the meantime, I was working on these brackets here, the mounting brackets that mount to the tractor. Got these all sanded, and we're getting ready to paint these. And I'm also redoing these headlight brackets. Wasn't crazy about how they looked, so I'm gonna do them too and get this in some John Deere green. All right, guys, so a little update here on our dozer blade frame. We got, we had it all epoxied and put a skim coat of filler on it. Got the filler all sanded out with 80 grit on the DA. And then I went around and put 3 heavy coats of high build primer on, 2K primer. Sanded that out with 80 grit on the DA, and still got a couple little pits. I think maybe 8 or 9 areas here I got to go over. Yeah, here, a few over there. So we're gonna wait for this filler to dry, and in the meantime I also had these are the other mounting brackets here that go on the bottom to hold the dozer blade frame brackets on to the crawler. So put a little coat of filler in them too, waiting for this stuff to dry, and we'll get this sanded down, get another couple coats of high build on. Well guys, we've reached a really exciting moment in our John Deere 420 crawler build here. Got this Holt blade frame assembly all ready to go, and pretty excited about the way it's come out here, and we're getting ready to throw some John Deere green paint on. So sit back and enjoy. Well guys, we got this all painted here. Got two nice heavy coats of John Deere green on. Really happy with this. So this is the big part of the blade. Next thing I got to do is bring the actual blade itself, and then there's two big trusses that go to the blade back to these pins. That's where your angle and stuff is. That's the next piece. Over here also, these are the brackets that mount the mounting brackets to the square tube under the undercarriage, and these are the two big, I guess you call them lock washers, lock rings that'll go on where this hole here will mount on to them other pieces we painted, and then them locks go over top of that. That's where your pivot is for your blade. So that's it for this piece, guys. All right, guys, so we have our dozer blade frame up here, and we're getting ready to take off these horses. We're gonna put it on these rollers here, rolled over. I got my help over here. They're gonna help me with this, and we're gonna get this on the tractor here tonight. So we got the blade all fitted on here. Had a little bit of trouble. Blake gave me a hand. I want to thank him for helping out. We ended up having to spread this apart. I got the one side on the pivot over there, and then we took an old railroad jack, put an old railroad jack against this, put a bar through here, pushed out, and was able to spread it apart enough to get the mounting bracket on and get it onto the pivot there. Managed to put a nice big gouge in the fresh paint. Not happy about that, but I'm sure it's the first of many gouges and scratches to get in it. So yeah, another little update here, guys, on this. So the third and final chunk of our Holt blade is the dozer blade itself. You can see here it's seeing a lot of work, a lot of dents in it, a lot of welds, a lot of cracks, cutting edges. The cutting edge is coming off here. Have to get that fixed up. But you can see here the this is the Holt name tag on it. These are an aftermarket blade. So this is the angle blade, and you can see here these mechanisms here. These allow the blade to angle side to side, and also has a tilt feature here too. I didn't realize till been doing some research on this. If you look here, when you pull this pin out, if you take these and either put them up or down, it'll fit in here, and then the corresponding side is opposite. That gives you a little bit of a tilt too, a few degrees. So that's kind of cool. It's something I never realized this thing had, but kind of a neat feature. So yeah, so we got to get these pins out. We're gonna get new pins, get all pretty tight here again. So we're gonna get this apart and get it sandblasted, start working on it. All right, guys, so we got the dozer blade all sandblasted and did a bunch of welding to it. I had a bunch of cracks, and had some cracks that were welded that I ground down and re-welded them just to smooth them out a little bit. But you can see all the shiny parts. That was where we did the repairs. So I got it all wiped down with wax and grease remover. Got it hanging here on the engine hoist. And we're going to get a couple coats of epoxy on this, and we'll be one step closer to done. Well, guys, after lots of sanding and filling and welding, we got this dozer blade about ready to paint. It's not going to be perfect, but going to be a lot better than what it was. There's only so much I can do with 1/8-inch steel here. So, actually, I think it might be even 3/16, but we hammered some dents out with a sledgehammer and did a lot of filling. I'm sad to say block sanding on this thing. I got it pretty decent. So we're gonna get this painted. Guys, so we have our blade over here. Blake is preparing to get it off of the sawhorses, and you can see here we got the blade carrier, blade frame blocked up, and over here we got the rest of these pieces painted. This is the supports that go back from the blade over to here, and then we get these painted here. The pins are done. Well, guys, we successfully married the blade back to the tractor. Had a couple little hiccups there, but all in all went pretty good. Only thing I got to do, I got to get some kind of a big washer or a bushing for the back of here, because this is gonna go ahead. And I gotta get something there to for that. Get something for that to ride on. And then got these custom pins right here until I get the other ones made. And we're pretty excited about this. This is the first time this blade has been on this tractor, and at least 12 years. Whenever we tore it apart, I wish I knew when we tore it apart, because I know it's been a while. But anyway, guys, as always, Blake and I, we appreciate you guys watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.